Hello, everybody. I'm David,
Maggie,
and it is February 17th.
St. Patrick's Day. Happy St. Patrick's
Happy
Day.
St. Patrick's Day to
Wear
everybody.
the green today,
And
even if you're not Irish.
we're just, my wife and I, we like to battle discussions
Banter,
between
debate.
each other. So we figured, well, why not post some of it and share it. These are strictly our opinions. They don't reflect any other organization or anything other. It's merely our point of view, and we welcome and invite anybody who would like to respond to this, either positively or negatively. If you want to have an open discussion on any of the views that we have. Open-minded and always willing to look at situations. My wife is going to start to go into.
Yes.
She has some concerns, which apparently happened on the 12th of this month, which is a little bit old news. But
I was watching some of the Financial Services Committee.
Yeah.
The House Financial Services Committee here. And Representative Alexandria was questioning Mr. Sloan, who is from Wells Fargo Bank.
CEO, yeah.
No love lost between us and Wells Fargo.
Yeah,
but that's a whole other story. Okay, so what she was saying is apparently Wells Fargo financed some company that was building a pipeline for oil. And she was asking that if hypothetically the pipeline leaked, shouldn't the bank be responsible for the environmental cleanup and for any kind of fines that the government might put on them? Well, that's kind of like saying if somebody crashes their car, that the guy who gave them the auto loan should be held responsible. One has nothing to do with the other. The bank was financing a company that was doing something legal. It's not like they were giving money to somebody that was
like a drug cartel.
Yeah. So why should the bank be responsible? And I just felt this is like one more example of trying to push off responsibility on someone or something else. It's a whole culture where personal responsibility just doesn't exist. If there's, very sadly, a shooting, it's, the fault of the gun.
Well, the gun manufacturer.
Yeah. In fact, I think Remington was going to be sued by somebody.
Because I think he used the Remington, that guy in New Zealand.
I don't know if that was the same one, but Remington, I think, is well,
now we kind of moved on into the New Zealand thing, which is obviously also a very tragic circumstance.
That was terrible. That was terrible.
Regardless of anybody's beliefs or their religion or whatever, it doesn't matter.
People can jump up and down. They can scream, they can yell, they can do whatever they want. They cannot harm another person. This is
our little baby Claire, who's wanting mommy's attention.
Yeah, the minute we start to do something, she wants to be right smack in the middle of the action.
She's an old girl now, but yeah, I mean, you get back into that. Everybody wants to blame the gun. Unfortunately, if this person didn't utilize a gun, he would have found something else. It's always a way for an evil person to do evil things.
Now, I heard, not sure if this is true or not, because it was just a blip I saw on a news thing, that at the second mosque, there was somebody there with a gun and was able to stop him from harming more people. So, maybe more people should carry, because you don't have a defense against a gun unless you have a hiding place where you can run away. The only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun, and I'm quoting somebody who I cannot remember, is a good guy with a gun. That's why we need our police armed, and we should have more armed people around.
Well, being able to protect yourself with a weapon certainly is it is
What does she smell?
I don't know. But it goes back into the thing of Wells Fargo. Banks have certainly done a lot of bad things to people, and Wells Fargo in the past was involved with a lot of the
Those like upside down
mortgage
yeah.
mortgage situations, but they were not the only ones. But that doesn't mean that they are necessarily an evil company out to cause harm. Maybe they did financially ruin people, but I don't think that they set out to cause problems with these oil.
On the other hand, let's say we wanted to buy a new car because we have two very old cars, and right now my truck is broken. And I went and I'm like, I want a Corvette or something, and I know the payments are going to be $600-700 a month, and I go to the bank and they're like, sure, here's a loan. Whose fault is it if I can't make those payments? It's not the bank. I mean, maybe they should have not given me the loan because they figured out I'm not going to have $700 a month. But again, that's my responsibility. And I can't blame the bank if I take out a loan and it's $700 a month and then I can't make the payments.
Yeah. And but we get back into Alexandria, AOC. I was talking in regard to my wife here and some of the things. Of course, when Trump was giving his State of the Union report and all, and of course you had Nancy Pelosi and all, and I was saying to my wife here that I found it interesting because I think everybody is equal regardless of sex or race or whatnot. We all have availability to opportunity. There is no doubt that certain people in some situations may be a little bit more disadvantaged to others, but the most important thing is that you can do things in this country that you can't do in other countries. But I've seen Pelosi and all, and they're talking about the women empowerment and everything like that. And isn't it great that there are so many women in power? I think what's more important is not necessarily whether or not it happens to be a man or if it happens to be a woman. Are they doing the job that they're supposed to be doing? And
as a woman, I would never want to be given a job or a position because I was a woman.
Yeah.
I would want to be hired on my merit.
But what I was telling her, I have a little bit more respect, although it may not be suitable towards Miss Pelosi. Actually, I was telling my wife, as far as a politician goes, she's definitely a very good politician. I don't agree with things that she is behind, but she is a good politician. But what I found funny, she's the woman's empowerment. She's a representative of women's power. But she couldn't make a speech without a man next to her who happened to be Schumer, which he's not worth, to me, he's not worth the space that he occupies next to Pelosi. But she's there, but she can't do it as a lone woman, as a lone female without him present.
I think maybe they're trying to show that they're together, that they agree. That could be
why. Yeah, but who is he? He's nothing. She's the Speaker of the House, right?
I think he's.
But it's not important that he's there. But she obviously at that particular time was not able to make the speech or present the situation without his backing. So it falls to me. This is how it looks. It falls to me that she needs the backing of a man, which they're saying women have all the power, or women are entitled to equal placement, but at the same time, and then of course you get into the other guy, Beto O'Rourke, which is he's utilizing the stuff from
so
AOC.
He must be the head Democrat in the Senate.
Yeah, I forget what they call that. but yeah, maybe it's customary that he's in that spot when the speaker gives a speech, but still, every time they've made statements and everything like that, and if I'm wrong, if it's the normal thing, well then I apologize to Miss Pelosi. But I had the impression from watching it that she was unable to present the situation without a male present. Maybe he just happens to be the male and there wasn't a female in that position. But you have these three new people who are female, and now you got the Beto O'Rourke guy who's actually
he just declared for the presidency.
Yeah, he declared, but he declared the presidency thing. But he's using the notoriety that AOC has obtained, because for whatever reason, everybody in the media and everything loves her. So he's associated with her. What? He's associated with her, and he's like, I'm behind the Green New Deal, and I want to become president.
Oh, the Green New Deal. That's something else to talk about.
Yeah.
If you haven't read it, you can go to the website to read it.
I don't know what website. Just
Alexandria's website.
Do a search. Don't use Google.
First, we have to get rid of our cars and get electric cars. Then everybody has to rebuild their house to make sure it's energy efficient. And then, well, of course, we have to get rid of cows because, because they have gas and they put methane in the air.
What was the one that she was on? I guess an Instagram thing. And she's, obviously using modern technology, and she's talking about how it's imperative that we have to do something, because if we don't do something immediately within the next 10 to 12 years, we're doomed.
Let me tell you
now, she's in her fancy house there, preparing her little dinner like there's nothing in the world to be concerned about.
The world is going to end in 12 years. But here's how I do my squash,
she's making her little dinner.
Here's the thing. We're older, okay? So
we're young. I'm a teenager.
We're either young baby boomers or old Gen Xers. In the 70s, here's the thing. We were told we were headed for an ice age. And within 10 years, everybody was going to have to live under a dome, and all of our food was going to have to be grown in greenhouses because it was horrible and the world was going to end in 10 years because of this ice age.
Well, that was the ozone layer thing.
So the politicians are like, we have to tell you how to live to save the planet, and we have to give you all these regulations, and we have to take your money because only we can save you.
Right.
And what happened? Nothing. So then the 90s
Well, that's because they put all those rules.
Then the 90s came along. What happened? Instead of the temperature going down a fraction of a degree, it went up a fraction of a degree. Now it was global warming. And again, the politicians, this is horrible. We have to regulate you. We have to take your money. We have to tell you how to live because we're the only ones who can save you from global warming. The ice caps are going to melt. Everybody's going to be underwater. And it's going to be horrible. And what happened? Nothing. So now, there's a problem. For the last 20 or so years, the world hasn't really warmed up so much. In fact, I just read somewhere in the last 3 years it's cooled down a little bit. Do you see a cycle here? Temperature goes up a fraction of a degree, comes down a fraction of a degree. It's weather. It changes. So now, the politicians don't call it the ice age coming or global warming. They just call it climate change because anything could happen. And anything does. It's weather. It changes.
Well, I agree with them, though. There is climate change. It's called seasons.
Right. And again, it's like, we have to take your money. We have to give you these regulations. We have to tell you how to live in order to save the planet. Here's the thing. They want to keep you afraid because the only way they can get your money and regulate your life to death is to keep you afraid. So the latest thing is, and it's almost a religion, that you have to believe in climate change, and they can't even explain what that is, or you're a denier, and the world is going to come crashing to an end.
I'm not going to disagree that there's climate change, but is it? This is a normal
Is it
process.
man-made?
Well, it's a normal process of the world.
And that's something else they did. Years ago, they used to talk about carbon monoxide. That's the bad stuff that comes out of your car, okay? Then they changed it to carbon. Now they call it carbon dioxide. We have to reduce our carbon dioxide. Bad idea. Because let me tell you something. Carbon dioxide is what we breathe out. We're going to go back to elementary school biology. Carbon dioxide is necessary for plants to thrive. And if you take the carbon dioxide out of the air, plants are not going to thrive. And there'll be starvation. More carbon dioxide in the air means more crops, healthier plants. That's not a bad thing. Plus, most of the carbon dioxide comes from the ocean.
Yeah.
How are you gonna? What are you gonna do? Get rid of the oceans?
Carbon dioxide is okay. The problem is carbon monoxide. But,
right, and that's fine. Everybody wants to breathe fresh air, have clean water. I agree with that. But you can't get rid of carbon dioxide. It's necessary for our survival.
Well, we've been rambling, and we're kind of like on our limit, and on our little baby here is got to get used to us doing that. But anyway, for now, this is going on there, and I'm gonna get this out onto the YouTube and other places, and we'll tie it back to our website too, which is going to be emptycupful.com. And just come and give a visit, give a comment, say whatever you want. Also,
and if we do get anything wrong, please let us know.
Respond to the YouTube page. If you want, as I say, click on the little bell, subscribe, and tell us you'd like to hear us continue on. We're planning on, I'm going to try to get my wife to sit with me, and we're just going to talk about different things. Sometimes we get into spirited discussions between ourselves, and maybe another time that will happen, and we'll catch the natural the natural effect of it. And I think that might be actually entertaining to other people.
He likes to get riled up, and
that's my job.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's my job. Yeah. So anyway, everybody have a wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Don't drink too much green beer. And definitely don't eat green eggs that come out of the shells, from the refrigerator. I mean, if it's a green dyed egg, that's different. All right, what else? You want to say bye?
That's it. God bless you. Have a good week.
All right, well, there we go. Okay, bye-bye.